on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Here at the mainland FM, we tell it as it is, especially in the situation room. My name remains Matthew Kudua, and with me I have Okpeyemi Akiyode. Okpe, you're welcome to the program.
Well, good evening, Lagos.
And very soon Muyiwa Adeyemi will be joining us. Now, the 2023 elections is about 29 days away. Somebody will say just by the corner, but I think this is closer than the corner. Around 18 political parties are feeding candidates on all election positions, and everybody's trying to win, do whatever they want to do to be able to win the elections. However, in the situation room, we look beyond elections. We look at the issues in the elections. We ask the questions. What do we want as Nigerians? And the answer is what forms the agenda for whoever wins the elections. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are looking at industrialization and employment or unemployment, as the case may be. You are welcome. Last week we looked at the politics of fuel subsidy. We played back the sound bites of the major political candidates on what their positions would be when any of them eventually wins the elections, and it's as if they all agreed that subsidy must go or subsidy will go. But then nobody has told us what they will do to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians if eventually, as it is now, we're experiencing subsidies removed and a liter of fuel goes as much as 500 naira. As of today, is 300 naira or 400 naira. So when the subsidies officially removed, we're sure that we affect so many things. But we have not seen everybody say, oh, we industrialization. Used to host several industries, manufacturing industries. Today, no one is left. So what are we doing?
Well, I think a lot of us need to. I think everyone that is, old enough to understand the intelligence of politics will know that we've moved away from the regular shenanigans. So it is when election is close by, they remember that their campaign promises, the renewed hope, my part with Nigerians, my this and that. People have asked President, whoever takes over from President Muhammadu Buhari in 124 days' time, would know that it was an election that was worth every of the tribe an idea of what they want to do. Now, I may be very young at some point, but I understood thousands of people that were working in the textile industries, from Enugu to Ondo State to Ogun State to Kaduna. Find out that all of these people did not just close of several governments, not necessarily at what's the name, President Muhammadu Buhari. It didn't happen today.
Yeah, it didn't happen overnight.
Some of these companies were gradually folding up, reduce salary, cut cost, reduce production time. They were doing all of those things because the economy was not friendly to them. At the end of the day, they moved. They were being the biggest employer of labor and the second highest employer of labor. Somebody told me that at some point in the Southwest, the textile industry were employing almost 500,000 people in the Southwest alone.
Both direct and indirect.
Thank you. Contract, direct factory workers and all of that. And people were having a good life. But all of those things moved out. And it didn't just affect the economic life of the people. Even the business operators had to make that decision. I mean, we understood how tires came into this country. We were exporting tires produced in this country to other African countries. But now we are importing used tires. We are importing used tires from China.
Exactly.
Used tires, not even the new one. How many Nigerians can afford brand new tires for their cars? Some of those tires are flat. They just use knife to tear them so that they would have grills and grip. So it is a problem that was happening little by little, but we didn't pay attention. When I say I mean the government.
Yeah.
They didn't pay attention to these things. I've seen other countries where businesses were struggling and government were giving them subventions. Government were, giving them money to boost the sector. But what I remember, there was a day we had this conversation with Mr. Miwa Adeyemi, and he said when one of the companies wanted to fold up, they had a meeting with the then Minister of the Economy, and he said, Oga, there's no way we'll be producing here, and our produce is more expensive than the ones that is coming from outside.
Yes.
Help us. Give us tax vacation. Reduce all of this so that we can continue to be in business and employ people. But they folded up. And that's the problem. So it was happening gradually, little by little. Textile factories were folding up.
No, sorry. Okay. The issue here is this. There has been formally or informally policies of allowing industries to close and not replacing them. You talk about textile. If textile A has left but replaced by textile B,
C and D,
we are looking at the entire industry no more available, and the entire industry. I can't think of any textile industry that is still there. There are Swanee, there were so many, we can't see them. Asabatex was there, Kaduna was there, and so many others that are not there. And put together, they probably will be accounting for about conservatively 30,000 employees. And we are not saying we are going down on employment. Employment is scarce. You just made mention of a tire industry, Michelin, Dunlop. Where are they? They have gone, and nobody has replaced them. Then we move on and on like that. You look at Vaux. Vaux is gone. Steyr is gone. A lot of other
even Pojo at some point they left.
They left.
It was because the Kaduna State governor invited them back.
Yes. How many of these confectionaries you still have working in Nigeria? Well enough. So what kind of policy do we expect? When I say we Nigerian voters, this is not a question of whether it's my father that is contesting, my wife or my uncle or my whatever. This is a question of what are the big issues, and unemployment is a big issue. And how do you take care of unemployment? Not ministries. Government can come and create ministries, departments and agencies, yet they cannot take care of about half of the Nigerian population that need employment. People resort to all kinds of things to negotiate the society. These industries that are gone, they need to be brought back. Reindustrialized Nigeria is a big issue in these elections. So the question is now, who among them, don't name any names, or do we have anybody among them that you think is focusing on employment and industrialization as part of the economic package?
Let us lay this marker down. The essence of any government, whether democratic government or undemocratic, whatever administration is, the essence of any government whatsoever is to better the lives and the properties of the life of the people and protect the properties of the same people. So when you have a situation where the government cannot even protect the people, which is their basic responsibility, then it's going to be difficult to expect so many other things from them. I've listened to the manifestos of virtually all of the candidates, and it is not out of place for any one of them to say, I want to industrialize the country. Because the moment these industries start springing up, what it means is that automatically, we looked at the Dangote Refinery House Commission recently, it's going to directly or indirectly employ about 300,000 people, whether as contract staff, as full staff, as, distributors,
the rest of them.
300,000 approximately. So what that means is that if anybody is coming in and you are selling the industrialization idea, it's a big catch for me. I wish I would vote. It's a big catch for me. What that means is that you know that we hardly produce anything we consume in this country.
We can't even name, from 1999 to today, can you think of a new industry that has come up to Nigeria?
When the Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonna Ayaonu, came out in 2017, that in 2 years' time, that's 2019, Nigeria will start producing pencil. I felt insulted. The largest economy in Africa, the fastest growing economy as of 2015. The indices were good. We are now targeting 2 years from then. Let me ask, are we even producing the pencil? The toothpick we are using, we are importing it from Niger Republic. There are states in this country that don't produce ordinary polythene bags. They don't produce, not stock of Dunlop slipper. So the question we should ask ourselves is this: when you let go of big business, for instance,
big industries,
I was thinking that any logical government, if you don't want to nationalize those countries, those problems, if they leave, you should take advantage of the fact that there's an already existing market for what they are producing and set up that business. It's very logical. It's very simple.
So now, on what basis, what are the indices with which Nigeria was classified as the biggest economy in Africa? I just want to know.
I think the basic of it had to be the GDP. And towards the end of the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, the GDP rate was consistent between November and March. November of 2014 and March of 2015, the numbers are there. We weren't particularly blowing out of the roof, but we're consistent with the growth and the numbers. In little, GDPs
growth
are very difficult.
Growth in what direction? No manufacturing. Growth in importing items?
I'm going to say this very clearly. Any government that is coming into office and you are not prioritizing industrialization and production, you are not ready for business. Nigerians want a level playing ground. Nigerians want a business-friendly government. Anti-people policies cannot survive in this country, cannot be sustained in this country. So the indices are there. The people are poor. The people don't have jobs. The people cannot survive. They cannot feed their families. Some people are ready to work if there's a space for them to work. So what if you wake up one day as a president and you create an economic hub center, or if you just clear maybe 1,000 hectares of land and you concentrate development in that place? If you want to produce fabrics, you will see fabrics corner in those places. If you want to produce car spare parts, you have it in those places. If you want to produce mobile phone and gadgets, you have them in those places. And make sure, see, when we were talking about power last week, I went back a bunch later and I went to check the amount of money that we spent on the power sector between 1999 and now. This number would disappoint you. There's not much as power had got money. So if you say you want to industrialize the country, beautiful. You want to commercialize us, let us produce a lot of the things that we are using. But excuse me, there needs to be power. Every economy that depends on microsystem to boost the economy must prioritize power. People should not be making the proceeds of their country to buy fuel or service their generators. They should be recycling those monies and be buying more goods into their shops. Not to service gen, not to buy fuel for 400 naira per liter, not to keep for 5 hours before you get fuel, not to beg and get bullied in filling stations before you get fuel. So the indices are there and it's very simple. We have to produce. There are no two ways about it. We import too many things. In fact, we import literally everything. The polyester material that is used to produce polythene bags or pure water sachets, we import it. Is that crazy? The lead that is used to produce pencil, we import it.
Now the serious thing here is this. As I keep saying, people keep saying, oh, we have to grow. But my feeling is, even if we have to grow, there's a process. The process has to be seen to be on. That the process of growth is on. As it is now, as I said earlier, the textiles industries have all gone. No replacement, which means there's no process of growing or regrowing the textile industry in Nigeria.
It's as good as we are comfortable bringing bills from China.
Exactly.
Simple.
The tire industries are gone. I have not seen anyone, whether fledgling or matured, replacing Michelin or Dunlop, which means that is gone. We're not about to reinvent the tire industry. We have the Kingsways, we have the Kawarans. They have all gone. We have the AG Leventis, they have all gone. GBO Levant, they have all gone. UAC, where are they? They have all gone. Then why are we crying that there's no employment? Who will provide the employment when all these industries are gone? So before us as voters, before us as people who are looking for leaders, we are looking for leaders that will give us employment. We're now saying that employment we are looking for, somebody just said, oh, very soon the government will make a pronouncement on salary increase for civil servants. Not for the man on the street, not for the admiral, not for the Okada rider. Especially now, our economy has become an Okada economy. There's nothing
and POS economy.
And POS and Okada economy. That is what we are doing right now. And these are not manufacturing. You're talking about pencil, talking about biro, talking about toothpick. We are not doing anything.
How does that even make you feel? That we import even serviette paper.
And so it is an issue. Employment is an issue, and industrialization is an issue. From what we have seen so far, on the basis of the economic print, nobody has thought of, what we are going to do, just like Obama did, which industry employs more? Let's help them rise. I have not seen any. Which industry do we need to bring up? Let's help them rise. Nobody is doing that. In which case, we are still going into, if care is not taken, we are still going to a new government with a high level of unemployment. You talked about power, of course. We are looking at a situation where all indices are considered as part of reindustrialization. That is saying, if we are going to industrialize, power must be made available.
Constant.
Available and constant. Now, the question is, how do we make it constant? With weak grid? With low generation? With whatever? How do we get out of it?
The government has all of these things in place. That is why there's a cabinet. That is why there are economic teams. That is why there are special advisors. There are senior special advisors. There are special assistants. They are supposed to be the think tank committee for Mr. President. One of the problems why we had most of this industry leaving this country.
These are the issues for Nigeria.
But again, we must admit that whoever becomes the president would not come in and collapse this administration. If we say government is continuous, that means that a lot of things that this administration is doing as templates, whether it is OO party that wins the election or the AA party, you have to finish those projects. Because taxpayers' monies have gone into those projects. One of the biggest problems that made those countries to live, apart from power, is multiple taxation. Those people were literally taxed out of business. That is the truth. Now, if we say, how do we tackle power? It's not rocket science. What do we need a national grid for? While any that we've generated is a little over 5,000. Supply chain, we had only three. So why don't you allow state government to own, generate and distribute their own electricity to the whole? When Tinubu was the governor of Lagos, we had a system. In fact, last week, as 2 years in this, as long as there's a political will for those things to be fixed. If the government is attending to the yearnings and the earnings and the aspirations of Nigerians, they will do these things. It is not rocket science. How do you bring these people together? The GENCOs, the DISCOs, the whatever, we are top those contracts. Are there sabotage within the power sector? Certainly, yes.
Okay, now,
why would I stay in a community or sign that we are handing over the transformer to them? The transformer that we bought with our money, we now sign that we have donated 48 hours off, 12 hours on. What do you need light in the night for when you can't?
Well, what are the identifiable potentials? Resuscitate the textile industries, but we assume that both manpower and facilities are there already from those that were there before. Aside all these ones, what are the potentials you think of that an industry like this can just spring up from the government, that Nigerians want to work? Nabero group collecting money from Okadas. Wheat.
It is wheat.
That is not oil. That's not natural resource. That's something you plant.
The reason why you have virtually every country in the world prioritizing the Nigerian market, third edition, they'll tell you they produce. So there's a market for anything you bring into this country. Go to the borders, go and see when people open bundles. And that is the first thing. Do people need this thing? Yes. So that is the biggest potential.
So market is readily
There's
available.
You encourage production, local production. We're not just going to be consuming. Forex would go up. We're generating foreign exchange. Another thing is this: if you bring industries up, it only wakes up and say, okay, I want to be a barber, and I'm employing another person as assistant or 2 more people. Then you have to employ all of the unemployed people in this country in 1 day. You can't even do that in 2. Nigerians want to work. Give me a job on another. And I looked at him. Oh, you're not physically challenged. You are even looking for bags this night. He doesn't get money to eat.
Resulting to stealing tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning,
robbery.
He would rob you. That is the thing. So the potentials are there. One, it gives more employment opportunities so that everybody, whatever we are producing, for anything you are producing, bring it in, must go inward and generate things that will boost your GDP.
Is that when it's very easy for us to point hand at governments instead of looking at how do we double pipe our creative negative or wherever you want to go. Instead of making 33, you make it 31. Other areas, if Nigerians can, that was good when you made government do this. So now that's why I'm looking at the individual as a challenge. Policies that will make you, who has identified who is interested in, who can produce pencil, to go and produce pencil. You talk about tax holidays. You talk about, so that when politicians are coming, jostling around you, so like this. The question is, if you then you talk about power. Let's look at the role power will play in industrialization, as it can generate employment. Now, those days when I was in Benin, transformer will blow. Let me use that word at 12 midnight. I'm platform. In the next 2 months, nobody will call you. So what realization?
Nigeria is not. This may be disappointing to hear, but that's the truth. Nigeria is not. Say 70% of Nigerians are unemployed. The 30% is not like they're fully employed. Some of them are underemployed in place. So if you provide power, that alone can make people think of business ideas. Name of the business is generator. That is the priority. Is generator. Before even conceiving the name of the business, the first thing, and then I'll have to buy fuel of 10 liters at 400 naira every day. That means in a month, I've spent my turnover on fuel alone. That I sold, I should replace them. That's the very simple truth. So, power is everything. I think the only thing that is more than loot my shop. I will not be scared that in the line of doing my business, I will be attacked. I will not be scared that if I borrow money, loan from bank to plant in the farm, being bandit. Okay, to access I'm coming. I can open 2-3 branches so that people would also get themselves fixed. Until we fix the power problem in this country, the Osogbo power generating source can supply the whole of the southwest without any issue. But what exactly is going on with the Ajishiri Dam?
Not that you industries themselves power. Of course, we know that, just as you're saying, one reason why imported products look cheaper than made in Nigeria one, if there are any, you are your water provider.
You have a security provider.
You have your borehole, provide you water. No potable water in town. So you do your borehole, you service the borehole, your electricity. Go to some industries, you can imagine around because of the heavy sound. And diesel is not 2 naira matter, it's almost getting to 1,000 now. And petrol has just into the unit. Security, you have your own security. Otherwise, there are going to be problems. Now, when we look at security, as in fact, bandits wait for you to harvest your crop and say, okay, you take 1/4, or we take 1/4, we'll have half. Otherwise, you won't get
your own farm.
You get it now. So now, what a big challenge will it be? The security we are looking at now, food security, goes beyond harvest your corn and come back. Would have been better. But you can never go openly, you cannot go secretly. So where does that keep the next president in dealing with security and farm?
5th of February would have the presidential and the national. You don't need, if the rain falls, it falls on every one of us. About 77 trillion naira debt as it stands now. Because in fact, what they said is that 60% of 2013 or 2023 budget will be used to service. Of our IGR, will be used to service. We're not paying back the loans yet, though. We're just servicing it. So 60% of what we generate will be. You have to. If they say the next president will not be a magician, you need to look in the history of this country. The numbers are showing almost 100 million people have registered for PVC. As much as everybody are complaining, I'm getting good feedbacks. People are when you win an election. In fact, before you get sworn in May 29th, you should have an idea that the Gencos and the Discos and the Mank before COVID-19 were reported to be consuming 60. There was a nationwide lockdown. People were not going to their house. Were people drinking petrol in those times?
Yeah, because if there was no water, maybe.
Perhaps. So the question is this: the incoming president should know that you are not coming to block loopholes. You are coming to fit in Cameroon. I went to some of my sport colleagues to cover it. From just we went through. So people just move in and out of the country from that axis. Check what these problems are.
Now you just mentioned about border now, the official imports and the smuggled ones, and to influence the price of official items in this country is something. So when the new president is coming to look at some of these things, the first thing he has to look at, and one of the things is should there's nothing to show, if not because there's a signboard there.
Welcome.
It's going to be pretty difficult, but there has to be some ways. There's some smuggling activities that you think cannot be done by an ordinary person. If
you have to have a highly placed connect.
You open your boot and see half bag of rice by small picking. You can't tell me a tanker load. The smuggling business is so large that you have to do so much about it. Now,
government or they are today, or people having ideas that they are today is the moment people have said, we for even leave PDP for. So when those in those time in 1990, how much would politicians tension? I mean, you would ordinarily feel, Nigeria should even feel fine. Let us see works that we have it in we can't even fit. Now we have a lot of companies here. Dunlop are still here.
The only industries that have not collapsed.
That one is just that one is constant.
That one is not going to collapse.
No, you can't came in the sustainability of all of that. What has the government done? Or you are feeling like my policies are go left with 10 textile companies. It is between the group. But he knows that. But I don't know undo.
Exactly.
It is having the willpower and
the refineries. No, last week we did literally about it. It has taken Dangote less than 5 years. It's limited. Have a few of them refineries for 24 years, not building one. Every year you hear of a new one. If, for instance, since 1999 constructed one refinery, and but now with Dangote 3 that are almost comatose. If you look at the employment chain of the oil industry, the stretch is limited. The employment opportunities are wide, but they are not. No, government is not focusing on these things because when everybody is talking about, subsidy will go in day one, subsidy will go in day one. Nobody is saying money to buy diesel for 1,000 naira per liter or petrol for 700 naira per liter. Is that what we are living?
For every government that has submitted, I think there's about 50 billion for that because the Nigerian refineries that are not functional, they have staff there. Single drop of petrol. So even if the government cannot build a new refinery, why don't we utilities? Look at the Ajaokuta steel mill. Do you know how many people that steel mill will have employed? And we spend millions of naira every month. You are paying people salaries in all of these 4 refineries. But we are not producing a single drop from those refineries. Every year subsidizing when we can use those trillions to build refineries. Payment begins and ends on the table of the government.
Exactly.
So if Dangote, however we did it, that refinery, the minimum capacity is 600 and those refineries. And they are giving us about 10 million barrels per day. Let me say each of them is giving us 1 million barrels per day. Then you encourage people that want to come into the business, build modular refineries. They are easier to maintain. So do they advise Mr. President on? You said you are going to fix the refineries.
I mean, when somebody's new one is coming
and somebody's new one, and we are celebrating it. I don't have a problem in celebrating Dangote.
No,
the ones we have. You are paying salary to people that are not doing anything.
Now, does that not take us back to the? Would you prefer? How do I put it now? An industry owned by government with many staff and doing nothing. Is that the kind of industrialization we're talking about? Because we're not just. Example. Look at 90 GSM. It's the same technology MTN is using, that Airtel is using, that Globalcom is using. Why GSM now? 0804. MTN should just concentrate on policy formulation. Apply to those places because of patronage. The same thing is happening to our refineries and the rest of them. Now, should be thinking of how well these industries will return and how well they can be managed. So that's the question we are looking at right now.
See, I've always told people, no matter, a government cannot deliver more than the capacity at which they think. It's very simple. With them that you think on your behalf, but you cannot transmit ideas to them to think of. You're all fooling yourselves. It's very, very simple. You're all fooling yourself. A textile industry, for instance, because what we are focusing on textile is that
it's very large.
It's too large. If you go to where they are offloading,
it starts immediately.
They will. So if you make policies that will kick people out of business.
Thank you for staying with us thus far. Very soon we'll take the news beat. But what we are looking at is the industrialization as an agenda for the incoming government. After the news beat, 0913-6000-410. We want to hear from you. 0913-6000-410. We're still...
To break it open and really stand out. Broken Air. It's here.
On Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Lagos.
Hello, you are welcome back. It's still the Situation Room on 98.3 FM, Mainland, the sound of Lagos. Today we have been looking at one of the big issues in these elections, which is industrialization and employment. So anybody coming to rule us now, these industries, as we mentioned, the textile, the tire, the paper, have closed down. 0410. I repeat, in 60 seconds, and be very civil with your language. Thank you.
Well, you can also send your messages to the same.
Good evening. How are you? You are welcome.
You see, if they should try and give us power, then they will come back and work energy and they will...
Hello.
My name is so privatized now. They used to impact people have used. They say that because in the right people in the right, we don't have any problem. Dora Akunyili made Nigeria to work. Nuhu Ribadu made Nigeria to work. We have a lot of them in this country, but we just want to politicize everything, put people there so that they can chop. Okwesti made a statement. Imagine you go to Benin Shagamu Expressway, you look for 2,000 hectares of land, and you make it in a bag.
Thank you so much. 0913-600-0410. Keep the calls coming in. The messages.
Hello.
Yesterday. Okay, let's stick to the calls first.
Hello.
Mr. Patrick calling from Gold.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, you see, this country is a very industrial country. But only the leader that for everything. You see, that is why. You see, that's why I recommend this. The vice president, Osibanjo. When he went to Abba, the man went. He saw, he had been hearing Abba made. Let me go to, let me see what happened at that Abba made. When he saw that all these things we are producing inside small rooms, which he pass me, pass your neighbor, they need to and buy those items and bring it to Nigeria. See, when Osibanjo went there, the man said, the federal government needs to help.
Okay. You can still try and call us back.
Yes. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Good evening. How are you today?
I know. You don't hear me?
Yeah. Barrister Peter Oko, you're welcome.
Yeah, God bless you.
And you too.
Yes. This issue you are discussing is quite germane and very important. But you see, when it comes to industrialization, the problem we have in this country, in Nigeria, right from inception, is corruption. Corruption. You know, if you go to places like Kano, Kaduna, even here in Lagos, go to Maturi Industrial Estate, you know, a lot of industries that were, because the enabling environment office that were set up, they have all died. Many of them have moved to places like Ghana and other countries because the environment here is very hostile because of corruption. You know, I have managed, I manage a federal government-owned phone manufacturing industry in Kaduna, and here in Lagos, I've managed 2 companies, you know, which is TIP and the other one in Maturi. So the thing there is, if you are running a factory, like when I was at Banners Industries, print company in Maturi, the government officials that regulate
Please have 5 seconds to round off your contribution, sir.
Okay. I think it's actually gone off.
Okay.
Okay. Let me read some messages.
Yes.
This one says, "Good evening, Okwe and the crew. Please, if I may ask, how much is the cost of building a new refinery? I mean, the standard of Port Harcourt refinery. Please tell me." Okay. I really don't know much about that, but then I think Ogun State has become Tinubu's Freedom Park. That's where he made his mind public, and there he's told us that he made the president who is. And then the Minokon idea, the same Ogun State, he called up VP's betrayer this week again in Ogun. He said his presidential ambition is being sabotaged because of fuel scarcity and new naira. It's all right. My stake remains that open presidential debate without representation is important for us. The mountainous problem of today's demands are rugged. Okay, the mountainous problem of today demands a rugged, agile, intelligent, and broad-minded leader with a positive dictatorial mindsets. That's the only way this country can be great and drive the economy from consumption to production. We don't hear Shige since 7.5 years. Where again is Leah Sharibu? Thank you very much, Chijoke. Back to the phone lines.
Hello.
Good evening to you, Mr. Kodua. And
Good evening,
Mr.
sir.
Payemi.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. God bless all of you.
Prince Wise.
My name is Prince Wise, calling you from Amuodofi. You see, in this country, we have problems. And our number one problem in this country today is corruption. The number two problem today is corruption. I'm telling you, before you can mention another thing, look at what is going on in this country today. We are, as of present, I don't think a government can establish anything. If the best thing to do is to just create a venue for private body to come in. Look at our refinery. And nobody, if somebody tell me that we should build new refinery, I will say no to him. Because when Baba about to left office, I think it's so not about this refinery. It's a mistake on our former late president by the fashion that decision. So we should not create a venue for private body to come in. All those industries that left Nigeria today, what president to left Nigeria? You can say power, number one. Number two, it is to those who work in those mills that eat up the company. When you say possession manager, you want something of 200,000, you tell them to write 800,000. Where do they do that? To Nigeria problem today, I'm telling you, if you can take this monster called corruption, everything gets better. So that's my stand this evening. God bless you.
Thank you, Prince Wise. God
Thank
bless
you so much, Prince Wise.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, maybe you should. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. You are welcome to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Okay, the person had gone off. Okay, maybe the person just want to confirm. Messages. Good evening to you guys in the studio. Apologies. Okay, I love what you're doing. PNB has done a lot and had failed to lay. I beg you. To lay a successor. Tinubu has failed to lay. Okay, that's quite confusing, but. His successor Tinubu should build on his foundation and industrialize our country. Sport alone can earn us a lot from us and employ many Nigerians. David from, excuse me, Ipaja. This Oluwaseyi from Surulere. And Oluwaseyi says, in this country, our unemployment aspect, qualified one are not employed because you don't know me and I don't know you. So this is the issue and this should be shunned away. Okay. This one says, my name is Femi from Bagada. Whatever anyone is saying, the primary responsibility of any government is to fix security. So even if you build infrastructures and it's not secured, it's a waste of investment. I believe Peter Obi would fix this. Peter Obi, my votes. I have my PVC. Okay, that's exactly what I want to hear. You have your PVC already. Back to the phone lines.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Emeka. I'm calling from Egbeda.
Welcome, Emeka.
Yeah, please, I want to digress a bit from the topic. It's just a question. See, I want to find out, has INEC released final list for governorship candidates?
Yes, it's on the web. It's on INEC's website.
Yeah, it's supposed to be final, but there's going to be a change in it now because
Especially with the Abia situation.
Somebody died yesterday, so we cannot say final.
Where was that, please?
Somebody died yesterday. One of the candidates of PDP in Abia.
The PDP gubernatorial candidate
died
in
yesterday.
Abia State.
No, yes, what I'm saying is that the final nationwide, all the states.
They have.
Yes, it's on INEC's website.
Go to INEC website.
You find it there. Even to House of Assembly members, everything is on INEC website.
All right. Thank you very much. Kudos to you guys' program.
Thank you very much. Okay, this one says, good evening. I just need clarification on these issues. One, do you foresee President Buhari further campaigning for Tinubu? For me, I don't see that anymore. Tinubu should stop, whipping up ethnic sentiment to make it look like it's a Yoruba issue. The Yorubas are sophisticated, and it's a tribe that cannot be cowed into selfishness. The Yoruba is outbursting, unimaginable and controllable. That's Bernard Agbo from Bariga. Back to the phone lines.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. How are you?
There's no way we can go
with that call.
It's not coming up at all.
The ethics are bad.
Yes. Okay. More calls.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Peter, thank you, sir.
Yes.
I just hope we'll get that one man, by the grace of God, with what you are saying. I will get that man that will stand, the man that can stand for Nigerians, no matter where it comes from. So that's what I wanted to see. But like my pastor, it's for school children.
Yes.
It's where all these people today. So we just hope we see some, we do the right thing at this time around and get that right person and move forward. God bless you all.
Thank you, Taufik.
God bless you too. More calls coming in. 0913-600-0410.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. You're welcome. Good evening.
Emmanuel from Nero.
Welcome, Emmanuel.
I have this issue. I don't know how to go about it. Temporary one.
That's temporary voters card.
Yes, and I don't know how to go to the office now to collect the permanent one because I don't know what to tell them.
I tell them you have lost
You
it.
tell them you have misplaced it.
They will find a way to give
They will
you.
get it if you
They decided to go and
Go to
collect
the place they
permanent
send you to
voters
first. Those ones will tell you where to go next if they cannot handle it.
one. Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, more calls coming in. 0913-600-0410.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Prince from Amodofi.
Okay, wise. Okay.
Yes. The issue is Nigeria. Those land that Ambrose mentioned is gone. The name of land grabbing estate. That's where they produce poultry. Mitchell Farm, you just by the garage there. There is estate now, camping estate. Church by the side now. As a child growing up, that pencil man there is it's a great product. But today they are taking over. The Dunlop in a case we agree that 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, you remember I used to tell you. But we agree 1 + 1 is 2. Where we put debt penalty. All those people that stole those companies blind, they are still alive. Their generation, Gaga children are inheriting those wealth. But we take those things back. Nigeria, even if bring Messiah today, the system is rotten. Mr. Okoro used to say, the structure. We are clapping the tree from the top. Not that they will say 200 million. Look at the contract they are giving today. Look at the road they will produce today. But go to roads, even in Matogwin aside there, the road they put in 1972, near the Nepal structure, is still there. The one the erosion have not eroded. But the one they construct now is gone because of corruption. But we are agreed to 1 + 1 is 2 in Nigeria. And the West is different from the East. Except we want to deceive ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Yes, if you go to North, you know that God has separated us.
Amen.
Until we agree that, okay, if you want to agree that Nigeria.
Okay.
Last call.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Please, can you?
Yes, you're okay.
Okay. I want to contribute. You people are doing a very
Buhari, the man have been tried, somebody fight corruption, lead to this person. But the problem we have is that some Nigeria are making jest of it. They are doing like if this corruption cannot, I leave it, we are like that, why are you want to disturb us? So my own opinion is that people are thinking that maybe they don't want anybody that will be well or will corrupt them. So that is why it's like that. So in this area of corruption, since I was born, talking it on radio, talking it on television, everywhere, singing it, is the one that brought it. For my own, that people are saying that corruption. We have to join hands together to say, let this corruption go. Thank you, sir. That is what I want to say.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, messages?
Yeah, more messages. This one says, okay, let's pick call.
Hello.
Last call.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I thank you, spoke for what you are doing there. I just want to contribute. You see, this government since the beginning.
Your name and where you are calling from.
Okay, sir. I am by name Ubon Vincent. I am from Ishikuro here, hospital.
Okay.
So you see, what I want to say is that the beginning of this government, they started with corruption. If you look at Buhari when he took over, he gave a bail something. Is it bail bond or bail bond?
Bailout, yes.
To all the APC states. He did not give to any other state that is not APC. And all that should stop. Look at people that stole money. Nobody has been crucified. No severe action has been given. People will be stealing billion. And you will be seeing our judiciary returning the judgment upside down. This is not good. And I want to contribute concerning this industrialization. Like my state Akwa Ibom said, I've not been hearing the state government saying they do this or that. You mentioned Okwibeku sometimes in your message here.
Yes.
The state government, like my state, I want them to do something. Let them take a borrow from Lagos State. 5 years project. This government will do stop somewhere, another one will do. So by so doing, the indigent there will have something to do. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think the Buhari's bailout was not on party lines. It was across board. That was the wrong assumption. So thank you very much. A message is the last message for us.
Okay, unfortunately, I won't be able to pick more calls today, but the calls are still coming in. This one says, good evening, everyone in the studio. Please, is INEC going to extend the deadline for registration for collection of PVC? Because I just came back to Lagos. I'm not sure about that. I can't guarantee there's going to be an extension to that. The 1st of January is the one for money, but 29th is for PVC collection and 29th is Sunday. So you have today, which is gone already. You have tomorrow, which is Friday. You have Saturday and Sunday to pick up your PVC. And I would want to beg you, please pick it up.
That information is not available to us, whether INEC will extend it or not. What we have is the existing deadline. You have to make use of it. So thank you very much, my good listeners. That's where we draw the curtain for today. Unfortunately, Muyiwa could not join us for one reason or the other. So, okay, thank you for your contributions.
Thank you very much.
My name remains Matthew Kudua. By the grace of God, we'll see you next week.
We start to blend